much emergency. I got it this morning. I was in my son's room because I didn't sleep. My back door was open. My husband's guns are all gone. And there's blood on the bed, and he is still doing it.
The caller was Darlene Gentry, a 31-year-old former beauty queen. Police rushed to the Gentry home.
This single surveillance video sat in evidence for months.
Batch of a home invasion robbery, and the homeowner possibly was shot.
Do you have any idea who this could have been?
I have no idea.
Okay, do you know which way they went?
No, I saw nothing.
Right here, and just keep scanning. Don't let anybody near them guns. Got guns on the ground right here.
There were weapons found stacked in the front yard of the residence.
Before prosecutors realized it was the smoking gun that would solve a Texas husband's murder.
He had been shot one time in the head.
Nothing was missing. The weapons were the only thing that had been tampered with, and they were stacked in the front yard.
And he said, he's been shot in the back of the head. I said, is he alive? And he said, he's breathing. He was breathing when he left here. That's what he said. And I said, okay.
That is Darlene Gentry, wading into a pond with a metal rod.
I had realized the back door was open.
This guy's in bad shape. He got a hole in the head.
You don't see anybody. I mean, like there's nobody around or anything, do you? I don't see anything. This back door was wide open.
Desperately searching for something at the bottom of the murky water. But here's what makes this footage so chilling. Police had already recovered what she was looking for days earlier.
The only thing that was taken were the guns, and then they were left right there in front of the house.
Within 7 minutes of the first officer arriving, he got on the radio and told one of the other officers, this isn't right.
Because what started as a frantic 911 call about a home invasion would reveal a calculated murder plot that fooled an entire community, including the victim's own parents.
I said, well, what's going on? You know, it's my son over there, your daughter-in-law and grandkids. You stay over in your yard. Don't come over here.
I kept telling myself, I have to realize he's not going to be the same Keith, but he'll make it.
It's a nice rural area, and so it was bizarre that there would be a burglary there.
I wanted the kids to get out of the room, and because that was my primary goal. I didn't want them on him, because at this point I had no idea what truly had happened. I get them out of the room, and as I'm trying to explain what's going on, and I know I was rambling.
And the evidence that finally exposed Darlene Gentry's lies will shock you.
Something stinks about this, Gary. Something ain't right here, man. I'm telling you.
He took instead a job that was a daytime job, more of a desk job that he didn't really like to go out and joke around and have fun.
He loved hanging out with his buddies more than anything, but he also enjoyed fishing and hunting. He loved to hunt.
I haven't done anything. I loved my husband, and I would have never done anything to take him away from his boys, ever.
November 9th, 2005, 6:11 a.m. Robinson, Texas. A panicked voice crackled through the 911 dispatcher's headset. My husband has been shot. The back door is open. Some of his guns are missing. Darlene Gentry's voice trembled as she described finding her husband Keith lying in their bedroom, covered in blood, barely breathing. Pink foam bubbled from his mouth, a sign of severe trauma that meant he was dying. But here's what investigators didn't know yet. This wasn't a desperate wife calling for help. This was a killer staging the perfect cover-up. Keith Gentry, 31 years old, was rushed to Hillcrest Baptist Medical Center in Waco, where doctors placed him on life support. Despite their efforts, he never regained consciousness. 2 days later, Keith was pronounced dead, leaving behind 3 young sons: Chase, 4, Cody, 1, and baby Cade, just 18 months old. What appeared to be a tragic home invasion was about to become one of Texas's most calculated murder cases. To understand why Darlene Gentry killed her husband, you need to understand the life she was desperate to escape. According to Darlene's story, the evening of November 8th started with another fight about money. She had gone out for dinner and drinks with friends, returning home around 8:30 p.m. to find Keith upset about a restaurant receipt, another expense they couldn't afford. They argued, and Darlene claimed she left the house to cool off, driving around before returning to apologize. Keith went to bed in the master bedroom, while Darlene stayed with their 3 sons in another room. Claiming their youngest was fussy and needed attention, she said she woke briefly around 5:15 a.m. when the dog barked, but went back to sleep. At 6 a.m., she went to wake Keith for work and found him shot in the head, barely alive. The back door was wide open, and their gun cabinet had been broken into with several firearms missing. It looked like a home invasion gone wrong, but investigators immediately noticed problems with Darlene's story. The first red flag was the timing. Darlene claimed she found Keith at 6 a.m., but forensic analysis showed he had been shot much earlier, possibly hours before. The blood pooling and Keith's medical condition indicated the shooting occurred well before dawn. How could Darlene sleep through a gunshot in the next room? The second problem was the crime scene itself. Most suspicious was the 911 call itself. Rather than frantic panic, Darlene's voice was remarkably composed. She provided a detailed timeline of her actions and sleeping arrangements, more like someone trying to establish an alibi than someone in crisis. When detectives brought Darlene in for questioning, she immediately invoked her Fifth Amendment right and asked for a lawyer. The interview was over before it began. The breakthrough came when investigators searched the Gentry home with Darlene's consent. Hidden deep in the kitchen trash, they found a pair of latex gloves. Inside the gloves was a .22 caliber shell casing.
Told me he found a shell casing in the trash can and asked me what size bullet may have caused the victims.
Gunshot residue and DNA from only 2 people, Keith and Darlene. Then they discovered the motive. Keith had a life insurance policy worth between $500,000 and $750,000. For someone in financial distress, it was more than enough reason to kill. On November 28, 2005, just 19 days after the shooting, Darlene Gentry was arrested and charged with murder. In 2010, a judge granted permanent custody of Chase, Cody, and Cade to Keith's parents. The evidence I just revealed about Darlene Gentry's murder plot shows how life insurance policies can become motives for domestic homicide.